All right, so today we're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins and their off season and just a little bit about them and things that they can do to either make their team better or to kind of adjust their team in the off season. I'm a huge Pittsburgh Penguins fan, so this is something that I kind of keep track with, all throughout the entire year, especially in the off season. There's this great website. It is called Cap Friendly, www.capfriendly.com, and you could basically get any information about the team, how much salary cap they are using, what their players are making. Here you can see the draft year and how many draft picks they have, and it keeps track of all of that. So basically, this is the main hub that if you want to keep track of your favorite hockey team in the professional league, you can go here. It even has their minor league players and their minor league team, how long they're signed for, and has pretty much everything you would need to know about your favorite team. Now, it being the off season, this is one of the biggest times of the year that the teams, try to make over their teams into what they want it to be for the upcoming season. So this upcoming year, the Penguins have a projected cap hit of $76,617,500, and their projected cap space at the time is about $2.882 million. So what that means is the team has about almost $3 million worth of cap hit that they can take to add to their team. Now, in the grand scheme of life, that is a lot of money, but in the professional world, that's not too much money to work with to sign more players. But the good news is, out of a roster size of 23 players, they have 22 signed. So they only need to sign technically one more player to kind of fill out their roster. Now, if we go down here, you could see their highest paid players. If you're familiar with the team, are Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby. If you scroll over here, you can see that they both make the most on the team, which is probably about right because they're probably the two best players on the team. And they're signed for quite a few more years. Evgeny Malkin's going to 2021-22, and Crosby, if you slide over, is all the way signed through 2024-25. So those players have quite a few years left on the team if they're not traded or anything like that. Then their next highest paid player is Phil Kessel, and you work your way down. You have Patrick Hornquist, Derek Brassard, Carl Hagelin. And what I really like about this website is that I can basically go on here, see what the player's making, and see how much time they have left on the team. Now, obviously, you can see here UFA is going to stand for unrestricted free agent. So if you go down here at the bottom, that just means that they are no longer signed with the team. So if they don't sign a new contract or an extension, they can move on to another team. And the restricted free agency, they don't have as much power. The team kind of holds them. They can pretty much offer them a certain number, and really the player doesn't have too much leverage. So the RFAs are not as bad as the UFAs because UFA they can pretty much sign with anybody. Restricted free agency means that they're pretty much restricted to just that team to re-sign, and there's not too much wiggle room to decide how much money they would like to make. Now, the reason I brought this up is because I like to kind of keep track of their new signings. So a guy that they just brought in this offseason was Jack Johnson. And you can see here he's going to make about $3.25 million per year, and that was for 5 years. And then they also signed Matt Cullen to a very team-friendly deal of $650,000 for 1 year, just to kind of add to their depth a little bit on their team. But this is a great website. It's free. You can go on here and pretty much check out any team that you would like. Obviously, my favorite team is going to be the Penguins, so I'm going to click right on there. But you can see here back to the home page, you can pretty much follow any team, find out how much the player's making, and you can also kind of goes on to some activity, some players that are be placed on waivers, and some signings that are happening, some people who are still left that can be signed by teams, restricted free agents, and then just players today that were actually signed. These are the most recent signings. So this is a pretty great website to follow along to and check out if you're into NHL and into following along and seeing what your team has left to spend and so on and so forth.